courage, ignite possibility, and celebrate the brave in every woman. I am so grateful you are here today because this is episode 11, where we talk about the 10 first episodes of Her Brave Story podcast. First, I'd like to begin by welcoming us to country, saying that I am very grateful to be here on the lands of the traditional custodians of this area, which are the Rockwell people of the Bundjalung Nation. And I pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging, and also Torres Strait Islanders. I'm so grateful to be here with you today. And the reason that I chose to go live today is because I love being here live with you. I love showing up. I love the feeling of speaking from the heart as well. And the feeling of nervousness that I have to actually overcome to be here live too. This is also a part of the podcasting experiment that you are a part of, because editing podcasts also takes time. As this is a reflection on podcasting, I thought I would invite you into this experience to know what it has been like for me to start this podcast, having zero experience in podcasting before this. And today we will be going over the 10 first episodes of Her Brave Story podcast. I'm going to be sharing a little bit about each episode and some of the most important parts of them that I have taken away personally, and invite you into not only investigating those episodes further yourself, but giving you like a teaser. Think of this as like a trailer or a buffet of all of the episodes up until now. And I want to say welcome to anybody who this is your first time joining us here on Her Brave Story podcast. And to everyone who has come back, I am so grateful that you are here. You are making Her Brave Story podcast possible. Together, we are amplifying the voices of women rising because women's stories matter. I am your host, Chrystal Dawn. I am a saltwater mama, a storyteller, and I am a women's empowerment coach or creator. At the moment, I am creating on this podcast, and my vision is to open up and create safe spaces that encourage women into exploring courage, igniting their own potentials through relating to storytelling and the art of storytelling, whereby we practice deep listening, listening to one another and listening to ourselves, giving ourselves permission to be brilliant and imperfect at the same time. Taking a deep breath as we arrive here into this moment, settling into this moment. I put a notice out on Instagram and Facebook. You might be tuning in on Instagram or Facebook as I am running this as a solo show. I don't know who has turned up on Instagram or Facebook, and that doesn't matter to me. What matters is that I am showing up here and that I'm honoring these stories of women rising and helping to amplify their voices. Let's go back to episode 1. Episode 1, now I'm going to start sharing my screen here in a minute, but episode 1 is with Angie Richard, and it's titled When Storytelling Becomes Survival, Angie's story and journey from purpose to power. And purpose to purpose and power. And today I wanted to start with episode 1, and I'm going to be now sharing my screen so that you can see her. And Angie is a powerful storyteller. Her life and her story is incredibly inspiring. If you get a chance, I highly encourage you to tune into all the episodes. So I'll just begin with episode 1 and run through 10. Here is a bit from Angie's journey. I'm going to now share my screen. Yay. All right. When storytelling becomes survival. Let's go. And in this Angie is talking about the bravest thing that she ever did. Let's hear what that was for her.
Turned into June and it started to get a little cold in the dance. So I said yes. And what was supposed to be a very short love affair is now 7 years together, several years of marriage, and a daughter. So he
Congratulations,
came with
Angie.
us on that trip. And that's, to me, that was actually probably one of the bravest things. Looking back, I feel that that was a brave choice because he was this.
And that this is one of the bravest choices that Angie has ever made in her life up until that moment. And I love this because Angie is so accomplished. She has worked with the UN. She has she has award-winning documentaries. She's trekked across India and the Himalayas with her two children. And this is one of the bravest things she considers is that after her divorce, after a marriage that did not work out and was a dangerous marriage really for her, she goes through a period of separation and time when she's on her own and she meets this beautiful, incredible man, Remy. And we just want to send love out to her family right now. They're experiencing a difficult time. Not in their relationship because their relationship is absolutely thriving, but they're going through some other things right now. Remy has had an accident, so we're sending them oceans of love and just want to thank you, Angie, again for being the first woman to come on and share on Her Brave Story podcast. Deeply appreciate you and the courage that it took to come on Her Brave Story podcast and share your story is incredible. We're sending you so much love. Episode 2 that we go on to now, episode 2 was Bia Figueiredo. Now, Bia Figueiredo, her episode is titled She Said Yes Before She Was Ready, from the Amazon to Antarctica. This incredible woman, Bia Figueiredo, she ends up taking her life from Sao Paulo, Brazil, out into Antarctica. She says yes to experiences and creates new experiences for herself. She has also worked with and on Sea Shepherd vessels for 4 years. She was at one time she was on for 4 years, and she has met and worked with Dr. Jane Goodall. This is something that Bia shared with us when Bia was talking about, and I'm just referencing my notes here, that Bia emphasizes the importance of knowing who we are. That this knowing who we are sets us up for success. That something that we need to do in order to overcome extreme challenges. And we're talking about Bia has not only been to Antarctica with Sea Shepherd doing activism work, which if you can imagine what that's like, and just for reference, now she is associated with Captain Paul Watson Foundation. But at this time, during her experiences that she shares, she was with the Sea Shepherd and they're on board. They did some incredible things that I can't even believe, blows my mind that she could have been a part of it, that people go out there and do this incredible work to protect whales and all of marine life and really our oceans. And as we know now, the oceans are integral to all of us on our planet and our well-being. That I think Bia says over 50% or around 50% of the oxygen is also coming from the ocean. Anyway, this is her here sharing about, and this is episode 2, okay? And we're going to share that clip. Share this here. She says, what do you, I say, what do you need?
I think first of all, to be able to hear the call, you need to be really tuned into yourself. And as I mentioned before, when I started actually listening to my intuition, and it's there for a reason. Takes us away from trouble. Like it's there for like you're a survival instinct to begin with, But the more
you tune in, the more subtle the roles of the intuition become in many different ways. Like just recently, I was in.
And she goes into more detail about the subtleties of our intuition, but ultimately that we must tune into that intuition. We must know ourselves more deeply to be able to align with the projects, be able to attract into our life the things that we want. And I just love this episode. Again, I highly encourage you to see all of the episodes, start from beginning to end. But this experience right here is really for you to get a taste of the episodes to see what episode might stand out to you as well right now. And maybe you're somebody who wants to share your brave story here. I would love to hear your brave story. We have a submissions opportunities, which are on the website as well as on social media. You can find them there. And Bia is also a supporter of Abyss, who is somebody that we are friends with. We call them partners, and they offer us a 10% discount for her Brave Story podcast listeners. So please check out the show notes for that. That's eco swimwear and wetsuits. For those of you going into summer, you're going to need swimwear. For those of us heading into winter, I love their warm wetsuits. They're eco-preen, amazing gear made by women and for women. So check them out. Our next episode, does anybody remember? It's episode 3 with Vicky Schaefer. Now, Vicky Schaefer, she said, I'm out after 25 years and started a mindfulness movement for children. I love Vicky in this because she shares with us not only the courage that it took to transition out of something she had worked in for 25 years, but also the freedom that came from stepping into what she truly knew was the right thing for her. Let's hear from Vicky now. Let's hear from Vicky now. Ooh. Yes. Mm.
How did we put it? There was a lot of pressure, and I know a lot of educators at the time who's decided to stay, but they were seeing counsellors. They were like, it was incredibly hard. Everyone gets to choose though, and everyone has a different story. I know the people that that I had met after I had left were in alignment with me, and they made the same choice as me, and it actually opened up the world to be a lot kinder and a lot more aligned with who I was and how I wanted to live.
I love this. Vicky's really speaking to here is she's aligning with who she is and how she wants to live. This episode, she's the founder of Little Wise One, and they do mindfulness and movement workshops for children live in person, as well as have affirmation cards that you can enjoy wherever you are in the world. And now she's launched a new program for mindfulness, teaching mindfulness to children in the classrooms and at home as parents too. So Mindful Child Educators Program, you absolutely need to go and check that out. Vicky is a wealth of knowledge and experience and expertise. There's so much in here that she shares in this episode. And Vicky, you can find all of our amazing people here on herbravestorypodcast.com, where you'll find the show notes as well for all of the shows. And in those shows, you'll find the links as well as opportunities. And if you've ever wanted to start your own podcast, or you're thinking about joining or starting your own podcast, then I highly recommend Riverside. That's what I'm using right now to record. And it is what I've been using to record and upload and edit my own podcast here, Her Brave Story Podcast. You can see the link for that and check it out for free in the show notes of Her Brave Story. As we move along on Her Brave Story Podcast, our next episode, and this was the live episode. I know that some of you were there. So thank you so much for those of you who tuned in live for the live launch of Her Brave Story podcast. That took place with Brittany Farmer, and that also took place right after the solar eclipse that happened on, it was one of the last days of March 29th. And we were riding the wave of energy of that solar eclipse to bring in new things. I was up till 3 a.m. getting out the first episode of Her Brave Story podcast for anybody who is interested in understanding the work and energy that's gone into it. For me, I was determined to get Her Brave Story podcast launched in March, which is also Women's History Month. We did it. And thanks to you, for those of you who showed up and those of you who are here now. We were making history. In this episode, it's breakdown to breakthrough. Brittany and I sit down, and Brittany and I are old friends, and we are talking story. And I want to thank Brittany again so much because she came in last minute as an angel and was really there for me. And we talked story about our own lives and about our own breakthroughs. Our own breakdowns before our breakthroughs. And as you and I know, as anybody here knows, breakdowns are continuous as our breakthroughs. That this is an organic live process, just like this experiment here that you are part of and watching. It's ongoing. And Brittany has so much medicine to share with us. And in this particular scene here, this particular part of the episode, you're going to see what she has to say about what she really wants to bring into the world right now, or what she really feels comfortable in bringing to the world. And let's hear from Brittany.
Yeah. So this is part of it, you guys. I mean, we can all pretend that we're professional, but we're all human and we're all learning. And this is a first time experience. And these are the kind of experiences that I'm most comfortable in. I have run a preschool for many, many years. And that is a space that I'm very comfortable in because children, they don't know that they're supposed to be this way or that way. They just are. And I want to bring us back as adults into that safe space of curiosity and wonder, and mistakes are okay as long as we're not trying to hurt anyone.
I love this and her beautiful sentiment. Thank you, Brittany. And she's also speaking to the fact that we were 25 minutes behind, that I am over there pressing the keys, trying to let people know, okay, we're live. This is what's happening. Kind of like now. And she's speaking to us, and she's speaking to what it means to start before you're ready. She's speaking to that it's all messy and that children aren't exemplary at this because they don't know that they need to show up any other way than how they're showing up. And isn't there something liberating and just so comforting and reassuring about that, and playful and human? Show up as we are. I love this. This episode is loaded with goodness too, and Brittany shares about her experience on the Netflix series Temptation Island, as well as her powerful work in Circle and Ceremony. So please do check out her episode. It is really, and there's things, in there about me too. I share things that, the reasons why I started the podcast, the reasons why I feel that this is a really important space to be in right now, and why women's stories are so important. So that was episode 4. Episode 4. Now 4. That was 3 fingers. That was funny. If you are listening in, you can hear my voice. And if you are tuning in on YouTube, then you can see that I had 3 fingers. Sometimes I forget that some people are either just listening or just watching. Just so you know, there is a YouTube channel. Go check it out. Episode 5 with Katie Stevenson. Perfectly Imperfect and Not Quite Finished. A Mother's Journey to Self-Publish a Picture Book with Heart. That was a live episode. Katie Stevenson was generous enough to join us live to talk about her book. And this is before it was released, just on the cusp of being released, called Perfectly Imperfect. And this is a picture book that she's designed and done with her children, which is actually now live and out in the world. So excited, and congratulations, Katie. Katie Stevenson. If you haven't checked her out yet, please do go and do so. You can find her and her work in the show notes. Please check the show notes, herbravestorypodcast.com. This is a great time to say that if this episode is speaking to you, or you know someone who'd really benefit from hearing these episodes, then please take a moment to subscribe, share, and write us a review. I would love to hear from you and read your review live. Also, this helps Her Brave Story podcast reach other amazing people like you and keep us going, because right now this is a one-person show and all the balls are in the air. So episode 5 with Katie Stevenson, what a gift this was to be able to talk story with her. And in this moment, she tells us, this particular part of her episode, she tells us what it was, what this book is about, and why this matters. Let's hear from Katie now. Let's hear from you, Katie.
And so I really feel that this was a message that I needed to hear myself and that I wanted to give my children. But it was actually in time for a conference that I was speaking at, where I was talking about imperfection and about our children really not needing mothers to be perfect, but instead to be on purpose. And so I used that poem to sort of support the message that I was already speaking about. So within my business, I kind of live and breathe the blessing of imperfection, because we all need it. The more that we can acknowledge and accept and embrace the fact that we're not meant to be perfect, it just releases so much pressure in every capacity. And so anyway, in motherhood, I think we all know that comes through thick and fast. So that's, part of my overall message is to meet that perfection with compassion.
So many beautiful messages throughout her book as well, her beautiful picture book. If you, again, get a chance, check out the show notes. Her book, Perfectly Imperfect, is now out. We're going to get to hear from Katie again soon about her book. You can learn more beautiful lessons in embracing imperfection, just being okay with it, being okay with how you are right now in this moment, and how wonderful and liberating that is. She has this message about that children don't need perfect moms. They need moms who show up on purpose, right? And not just moms. We need women. We need people who show up on purpose. Perfection is done. It was never even a thing. But we're conditioned to think that it is a thing when really purpose is a thing, right? And perfection keeps us from purpose. So thank you, Katie Stevenson. Such a powerful message. One that I am working with constantly. This perfectionism that we get conditioned to. The next episode 6. Episode 6. What I learned on my first Mother's Day. Divorce, a baby in tow, and the road to thriving. This was also a live episode, like this live episode here. Live experiments, experimenting with showing up as I am in the moment, giving you everything that I can, right? And in this episode, I really speak to what I learned my first Mother's Day, which wasn't the Mother's Day that maybe some people get. I didn't get the card and the flowers and the breakfast in bed. No, I got a very different story. And I spent that Mother's Day was a pivotal moment for me. And for those of you who know some of my story, you might already know. And for those of you who don't, I will just say this here, that this was a moment where my ex-husband and husband, it was our 10-year wedding anniversary, as well as my first Mother's Day. And he called to let me know that he was going overseas. We'd already been separated, but I had had this hope that he might return. And this is really a pivotal moment for me. So let's hear from this. Right, here we go. We're gonna hear what I have to say here on what that was like and what it really means. And I remember that feeling of just driving out of saying, wow, this is it. This is me taking a brave step for me. And anyone who's listening, if you have ever done anything that you felt terrified to do and you didn't know if you could do, this is it. This is the moment when we say yes to ourselves and we leave the old self behind. And that was really a huge turning point for me. And it really was a huge turning point for me because I started taking the caravan out. And I had a breakthrough, basically. I broke through and I stopped waiting for someone else to come and save me. And I realized that I am the one I've been waiting for my whole life. I'm the one. If you're listening to this today, I don't know who needs to hear it. You are. You're the one you've been waiting for. And you have everything inside of you right now in this moment to become the person who you want to become, to start attracting into your life the things you truly want and desire, to align your frequency with that which you are. This moment, right here, right now, this is the moment of power. Check out that episode. If this speaks to you, it's not just for single moms. It's not just for moms either. This is really for people who have had a breakdown and then chosen themselves. This is about women choosing themselves over and over again. Episode 7, moving right along. Now, I'll take this moment here. If you are an entrepreneur, or if you are using social media, or you have a small business, or you're getting started with things, I wanted to share that I use Flowdesk, and I have a 50% discount on Flowdesk. It's for the whole year. If you want to use it, you can go ahead and check out that in the show notes. That's for emails and sending those kind of things. From this episode, I am actually making something so that you can have it for free, and that will be the 10 lessons and courage that I've learned from the first 10 episodes. So you can go ahead and look for that soon. It's not there yet on the website, but it will be there, and I'll share that with Flowdesk. So thank you very much. You can head there. Episode 7, she lost her son overnight. How story, unschooling, and a rare diagnosis changed everything. This is with story strategist Jennifer Grant. This story is so powerful and so visceral because Jennifer Grant wakes up one morning and she doesn't know her son. He contracts a rare disorder called PANDAS, and she loses him for 10 years, basically in this disorder. But at the same time, her life radically changes. She starts to look at different ways that she can sustain her family. And she also comes up against a lot of challenges with professionals saying that, you know, she really needs to do these things with her son that she knows deeply that that's not the right thing for her family. And her courage, her lesson in courage here, it blows my mind how she's able to do this, and how potently she can speak to us, to all of us, about choosing ourselves. Again, coming back to this choosing yourself. How do we choose ourselves when everybody else is saying, you're not doing the right thing, you need to do this, you need to do that, right? How do we choose ourselves? This is a beautiful message from Jennifer Grant, who is a story strategist. She works with filmmakers, documentary filmmakers, feature filmmakers. She also works with brands and coaches, and she does incredible work. Let's hear from Jennifer now. Thank you for your patience as I do all of this. Thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer Grant, everyone. Episode 7.
And I said no, because I knew as his mother, and I knew if with my knowing. So I think that's the first seed of really contacting that gift of intuition, where I was forced to, because it was for my son, right? When it's for ourselves, we often take longer. We don't to arrive to that. But when it's your son's life in the balance, you go, no, I believe in me. I believe that I have this source that can tell me, connect to my son, to me, to whatever. And that's it, right? If you want to know, the bravest thing I ever did was just to make that choice. That is that's my compass. I decide, right? That I believe in me. Yeah.
I decide that I believe in me. I decide that I believe in me. That decision is involved in belief. And that when we decide, it activates something else. Again, the power in this moment of deciding, and the power in our beliefs. Each one of the women who have come on here and shared their brave story, I want to take a moment to say thank you. As each one of the women made a decision to come and share her story with you, with us, to be vulnerable, to expose the underbelly of what it's like to struggle sometimes, what it's like to come up against big challenges. And the women who have come on this show, they have had massive challenges. Think about losing your son. You're going through domestic challenges. You want to start something, but you have no idea where to begin. You've got mandates, the government, sickness, people leaving. These are real things. Death, sickness, losing your job, starting over, having no one, choosing yourself, deciding to believe in you. This is where it's at. I love this. I am so ignited and so excited, really, to be sharing these first 10 episodes with you, because they matter. Women's stories matter. We're moving on to episode 8. 8, the lemniscate. I'm not sure if you can see. Okay, you can. Awesome. 8. This is an episode with me again. It's what if the choice you made right now changes everything? This is really a space I've been sitting in and sitting with. Is where is the moment of power? Because I don't know if you've ever done this, if you've ever spent too long in a place not only of indecision, but of blame or of feeling anger. Maybe it's angry from being false witnessed, or angry because you feel like you've gone silent on things that really matter, or angry because you're sick, or someone else is sick, or you lost your job, or life just isn't working out the way you really wanted it to work out. Where is your power in that? And what do we do? What do we do when we feel like we've lost our power? And this is a little message from me, keeping a promise to myself too, which was in this moment, I needed to I had a promise I'd made to myself, which is I'm gonna run this podcasting experiment. I'm gonna do Her Brave Story podcast, and I'm gonna release an episode every week. And to keep that up is actually a massive undertaking because I am the producer, I am the administrator, I am the marketer, I am the promoter, I am also the host. So, this is my message from this episode, episode 8. That just starting is what matters. Sometimes just starting and having a commitment to keep going is actually the breakthrough that you're looking for, because the breakthrough, that moment that we think like it's going to be the breakthrough moment is now. The breakthrough moment is making the commitment to do it now, to go now. And I go on further about this. Kainoa was with me. My son was with me. I did this episode from the living room. I did it live. I did it messy. There was stuff everywhere. I did it as an experiment, and I also did it out of necessity because I want to keep that promise to myself. And again, no one's coming to save us. And what's the belief that we have around this, that we have to do it perfect? No, I can do it now, and I can do it just like this. And that's what I'm encouraging anyone who is tuning in. When we take back our power, we take it back now. We don't wait to take it back tomorrow or when I feel like it. No, we take it back right now with one decision. Episode 9. This is a juicy episode, and this is something that happened it's terrifying to think of and unimaginable for some people. Kailani Cole was attacked by a shark on Maui in one of her favorite local surf breaks, and her story that she shares with us in episode 9, Maui Shark Attack, a Survivor, and the Sacred Work of Coming Home to Yourself. Another title for that was Maui Shark Attack Survivor, and the healing journey of saying yes to life. Because really, this is the story. The shark attack is part of the story, but the story really is about healing. How do you heal after a shark attack? How do you move forward? For some people who've lost parts of their body, that involves different elements. For this particular story, it's more about the spiritual, emotional, and psychological way we move forward. And Kailani, instead of taking this into a victim place of being, oh, this happened to me and now I can't surf anymore, or, things are against me, my life is against me, she doesn't take it in that direction. She actually has a transformation, and that's what's so powerful about her story and about the stories of the women who are coming on Her Brave Story podcast, because they're taking challenges, real life challenges, and turning them into possibilities. And Kailani said up until that moment, that year, she'd had the hardest year of her life. When she has the shark attack, she actually kind of felt like giving up. And in this moment, something completely different happens. And I would love for you to hear from Kailani Cole. Thank you, Kailani, for sharing your brave story with us. We're going to hear from you right now on what happened after the shark attack, when she went to her friend who's a healer, Hawaiian woman, Zelly, who is not only her mentor and her healer. She helps her after the shark attack. About a week later, they have a session, a powerful healing session, and this is what her healer says.
And then she says, I'll never forget this. She opens her eyes above me and she goes, "It's your amakua, mano," and that means shark. And so in Hawaiian culture, there's a belief that everybody has what's called an amakua. And so your amakua is it's an animal, usually a very strong animal, like a shark or a whale or a pueo, an owl. And it's the animal that's assigned to you, and it's believed that it's your departed ancestors or loved ones who have come back in this animal to guide you, watch you, take care for you. So she says to me, Mano, the shark, that's your Amakua. And it came to you to wake you up because you have big work to do in this world, don't you? And I'm just sitting there with this crying and shaking. And
What a powerful message. The shark, mano, and I want to make a correction here for the spelling on the screen does not spell some of the Hawaiian words right. Amakua, Aumakua. Amakua, the shark, the mano, the guardian, her spirit animal, actually came to wake her up. It wasn't an attack to bring her down. It was actually to wake her up. She has big work to do. And she is stepping into her power, into her work. She ends up sharing more of her story at the Kauai Writers Conference. She's selected to do spoken word, and she's really stepping into her power here. Her story even helps transform her daughter, Malia, and her story. Malia goes on at 12 to speak at a TED Talk, has a TED Talk now out in the world about her own experiences of her mother's recovery and this hard year that they faced. I love this connection of mothers and daughters, that mothers be exemplifying what it is to be a woman and a female in the world today. So hats off to Kailani Cole. Thank you so much. That is episode 9. You can go check it out now and see the show notes for all of her writing as well. There's so many writers that have come on Her Brave Story podcast. Their Substacks and their ways to engage with them are all in the show notes at herbravestorypodcast.com. You are tuned in right now to Her Brave Story Podcast, and we are on episode 11, and I am sharing with you the first 10 episodes of Her Brave Story Podcast. And the reason that I've been sharing these episodes with you is because they are part of a story. And stories have chapters, and stories are ongoing, and they're evolving. And there's also something profound about the subtleties of how things emerge. When I say subtlety, I say that these things are happening, that we can take a moment to savor them and not just keep rushing through life to the next episode. This is very meaningful to me that I got to episode 10 with a 6-year-old son who really needs me, who I am with full time, with a partner, with life, with running a small business, with turning up and putting this experiment into the world. This matters to me. So I'm celebrating with you because you are a part of this. You helped to make it possible. I am so grateful to you. So grateful for every one of you. And if this is speaking to you, I'm just going to ask that you please subscribe, share, and leave us a review, because this is what helps other amazing people like you find us and hear Her Brave Story to help amplify the voices of women rising. Episode 10. Let's go. And oh my goodness, what an episode. What an episode to come to a closure of the first 10 with. Episode 10, How to Live and Die Well. Lessons with Death Walker Zenith Virago. I'm going to pause there because Zenith Virago brings the medicine in this episode, and in the work that she does as a death walker, as an educator, as an activist, as an author, and as the star in films as well, documentary film Zen and the Art of Dying, award-winning documentary, among other films that you can find on the show notes at herbravestorypodcast.com. This episode was something that we had technical difficulties with. I'll share that. We had some technical difficulties, so I had to piece together some of this, and we would have gone longer had I had more time with Zenith. Zenith is such an amazing human being. We know each other from working on the vagina monologues together about a decade ago. Zenith also runs V-Day Rising, 1 Billion Rising, and V-Day Byron Bay. She's a queer woman and an activist. She is also the founder and the EO of the Natural Death Care Center charity. She's an educator and she offers courses in death walking. For those of you who don't know what death walking is when somebody walks beside those who are dying, bereaved, or who, yes, dying, bereaved, or who know that they're going to die, which is all of us. She helps people understand death. But more than that, so you really need to go and listen to the episode because it's so good. And here, we're going to hear from Zenith now, because I say, how do we walk? She says that we're all walking towards our death. This is one of her messages. She says, I'm a death walker, but I'm also walking towards my death and the death of everyone that I love. And that really hit home for me. I was like, well, what does that look like? What does that look like to walk towards our death and the death of everyone we love? And this is Zenith sharing what that is. Episode 10.
We walk towards death.
Well, we're all doing it, whether we're aware of it or not. I mean, every day that we live, we're closer to our death one way or the other. I mean, it's not rocket science. But death, being in close proximity to death, whether that's sudden or expected, it teaches you a lot about living. And the very simplest one is that you never know when your use by date is coming.
You never know when your use by date is coming. There's so many powerful messages in here from Zenith, but this is one of them that really stands out to me. We need to be in closer proximity to death. All of us are walking towards our death. Not one of us here listening, tuning in, not one of us here sharing our stories, living our life is not walking towards death. And how profound is that? What a call to action that is, too. This is a powerful episode. Zenith is an incredibly interesting woman, too. I highly encourage you to check out her website and find that in the show notes on herbravestorypodcast.com, where you find all the show notes for all the episodes as well as links to the episodes. If you are on YouTube, then you can find us at Her Brave Story or under my name, Chrystal Dawn Jameson. That's Chrystal Dawn Dawn Jameson. I think I can actually even write it. Yeah, there, Chrystal Dawn. Oops. Show it. Chrystal Dawn. And then Jameson at the end. Jameson. Awesome. So that concludes the wrap up for our show of Her Brave Story podcast. First 10 episodes of Her Brave Story podcast. I want to say thank you again to everyone who has tuned into these episodes, who has liked, shared them, and left us a review. You are helping to amplify the voices of women rising. And now I wanted to take a moment to encourage you, not only encourage you to watch the episodes, I wanted to leave this with you. There's a message from Jennifer Grant here that I love, and I feel like it speaks to all of us. It absolutely speaks to all of us, and I'd love you to hear it right now.
Your story matters. You have something in you that is so important that people need. No matter what constraints are around you that are saying your story doesn't matter, you can't tell your story. You can't tell your story like that. That is all just static outside noise. That's things that are trying to prevent you from stepping into your own power.
Ooh.
Welcome to Her Brave Story podcast, a space for conversations that spark courage, heal, and celebrate the brave in every woman.
All right. Now
Life is so much better